to you catching us here on Western Nile TV. Thank you for joining us on today's show this beautiful Saturday, the last Saturday of this March, April 2024, with us here on Western Nile TV, lighting up the region. And this is The Real Talk with me, Lillian Ayot. Every Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. we do this discussion on various topics, and the good thing is you can always be a part of this discussion by going to our YouTube or our Facebook. All you have to do is just like, share, comment, and you leave a comment, your opinion, depending on the kind of topic that we have on the day's discussion. And today it's a very beautiful Saturday here in Western Nile TV. Everyone is in the mood of Easter celebration worldwide. I know it's a sorrowful moment, I should say, in between happiness and sadness there, because you know tomorrow is Easter Sunday and it's the day of the Lord's resurrection, where we usually sing the hero song that you're all familiar with. You know, someone was making some jokes on their WhatsApp status saying people should master the spellings of rise, rose, risen, instead of writing things like the Lord arose, the Lord is arisen. So we don't want to see those things. And most importantly, master the spelling of Easter. Easter is spelled as Easter, not Esther. So some of you have already started telling us Happy Esther. It's Happy Easter. But all the same, the main focus is on the celebration of Easter Day, which is a very significant day in the Christian faith. I don't know about others, but Catholic, it's a very big day for the Catholics, where they celebrate a new beginning, you know, the resurrection of the Lord. They say he died because of our sins, and his resurrection is a new hope, that we have a new life. You can always start again, no matter what. Even if you had, you know, the kind of amount of sin does not matter. As long as you celebrate this day, you believe and you change and you begin afresh. But that is that. Different people celebrate Easter in different ways. People have different traditions, different things that they do on this day. And later on, we'll be discussing generally the importance and significance of religious days in the different religions. You know, we have very many religions. We have the Islam, we have the Buddha, Christian, Orthodox, many other that you can mention here. And all these religions have different celebrations that they do annually, monthly, it doesn't matter. And coincidentally, we also have the Muslim brothers and sisters who are fasting now in preparation for Eid, I don't know, but it's a month of Ramadan, and we all know what that means in the Muslim faith. And before we go any further from here, in the studio today we have guests joining us on this discussion of celebrating religious days, and together we'll be able to have different insights from different angles on how this day is celebrated, the significance, the relevance, and all that. Don't go away. Don't forget, you can be a part of this discussion by going on our YouTube and our Facebook channel. And now let's have the time to get to know our guests who are already here in the studio, so we can continue with the conversation. You're most welcome to Western Nile TV. I'll start with a beautiful lady here on my right. Kindly say hi to our viewer and introduce yourself.
I almost busted when you say beautiful. Thank you very much, viewers. You call me Kushile Nyawini. I am so happy to be in Western Nile TV today for this program.
No, thank you so much, Winnie.
Yes.
Sorry, Winnie. I know you've given us your name, but I know someone out there wants to know what you do, what you're into. Yes.
Well, I am a journalist by profession. Oh, okay.
It's nice to have a colleague.
Well, and then I am also I am also a gospel artist.
Okay.
Yes, I love to sing. You know, music moves in my blood. I am a person of noise. I love to interact. I love to talk, and yeah, that is me.
Okay.
Above all, I am single, but Maybe
Nice.
searching, maybe not searching, I'm not sure.
So in between.
Definitely.
It's a good thing you've given us your status. You know, from your voice, someone can already tell that that voice sounds absolutely beautiful when she's singing. I would love to hear you sing. I know. So you're most welcome. It's an honor to have you here on West Nile TV. The gentleman on my right, you're most welcome to West Nile TV. Would like to know you.
Thank you very much. I'm blessed this evening to be in the midst of two wonderful, beautiful, cute ladies for this wonderful Easter day. It's not my first time to be here in the studio. I've come here several times, but for this cause, it is my first time to be in this song. My name is Isaac Chowdhury. People call me, the other traditional name of mine is Adieri, and then another name of mine is Lakoni. But above all, I work with the Arua Miracle Center as one of the pastors there. I'm very grateful to be with you people this evening, and I just believe we're going to have a great moment to share what is in this season, festival season, and opportunity to share what happens here and what is also happening outside there with the people, what they believe, what is the impact of this day. Does it have a positive note in our lives, or it is a day when many wrong, bad things happen? Okay. But I also want to say before we go on, we may have a word of prayer since we're in the festival season.
Okay, perfect.
And yeah, that's something like that.
Okay.
But my name, I've already said it. I'm a pastor. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you here on the show. You already said, why don't we start this session with a word of prayer? That would be very beautiful.
Thank you. Let's humble ourselves and we pray. Father Almighty God, I want to thank you for this opportunity, for this station. I thank you for Lillian, I thank you for Winnie, and I thank you for our technical people around. And also thank you for people who are listening to us. I pray that you bless our time here, give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen. Amen. What a beautiful way to end this month and start this show with a word of God in this festive season of the Easter celebration. I know it's been a long, I know the 30 days fasting that the Christians have been doing in preparation for this day. We know that the Lord fasted 40 days.
40, yeah, it's 40.
40 days, sorry. 40 days. The 30 days is for our Muslim brothers and sisters. So people have been fasting, preparing for this day. This day has been, tomorrow marks the third day.
30, no, for Muslims?
No, I mean the Easter day.
Yeah,
the Lord
of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Then he resurrects and all that. Well, different people have a different understanding of Easter Day celebrations, and unfortunately, some people today don't even know what the day is about, and that is how it is. It used to be different, now it's different. But before we go to what this day actually is, let's get your personal understanding of this day. What it is, what it means to you, what comes to your mind when you hear Easter?
Easter. Literally, to me as Winnie, first of all, when I tried seeing around, I got to understand that actually Easter is the most celebrated in a Christian life. We have Christmas, we have other days. So, but then when you take this all, Easter is the most celebrated because it is associated with death and resurrection. Now, in the life of a Christian, resurrection is a very powerful thing because, you know, a Christian will say, by the time Christ resurrected, everything about their life resurrected, you know. So, to me personally, I feel this day is a day of celebrating the life of Christ in me. So, I think Easter, it is many times people want to eat. I don't even remember the last time I ate on an Easter day.
Stay for eating good food.
Yeah, like people are eating. Yeah. That is a way of celebration anyway, which is a good thing. But to me, I think it is, celebration comes in different ways. But the way someone understands the day of resurrection, maybe will differ. But to me, Easter is the most celebrated in my life, my journey as a Christian. And I can imagine everything about me that has not been working is dead today. And everything is getting resurrected with me. And yeah, not tomorrow even midnight. And then I am getting to shine again with new blessings, new joy, favor, and call it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Beautiful, a very beautiful interpretation coming in from you there. Turning to Isaac, what comes into your mind? What does Easter mean to you as a person before we go to the general understanding?
Yeah, Easter, sometimes when say it is a big day, it means food, it means some chicken. When I was young and in Kampala, we used to say we are going to massacre, meaning that we're going to massacre all the chicken around and the goats around, and people would just say we're going to massacre. At first I thought maybe they are going to massacre district, but later on I understood that they are going to kill chicken, they are going to kill animals so that they have meat on such a day in a festival. But in this festival, as we celebrate it, it's like a dark, there's darkness right now as we think. It's like there's overall darkness moving from yesterday, whether he was arrested, beaten. I think like we're just commemorating. We will go to define what Easter is, but I think it's like just celebrating something that had happened some time back. But as people, but as individuals in the West Nile, what does it take for us? What does it give to us as people? I think right now, as I said, as my sisters put it, that it's a most perfect day. All the other days in Christian festivals are also perfect, but this one here is unique, where somebody who has not sinned, somebody who has not wronged, somebody who has not abused is the one dying on my behalf, is the one who has said, here I am, I surrender my life on behalf of you. So for me, that is what it means. Somebody has died on my behalf. That Njia, I would have been the one to Njia. That abuse I would have mentioned to my neighbor, to my friend. That killing I would have done it, but somebody said, I surrender on your behalf. So that's the meaning of what it is in my life as Easter.
Okay. What I picked from both our guests is that the celebration of Easter is personal. It's something personal that you celebrate as an individual. Depends on how you understand it, but it should be something personal. It's not just about eating good food, or maybe for children, majorly it's about getting new clothes, going to church, then eating good food, taking photos, having fun with our fellow children. But for someone who understands it, someone who has prepared for this day knows what it means to them. And there are a number of religious day celebrations that in various religions. Easter is just one of them. In the Christian faith, I love to read some. We have we have Christmas that is celebrated on 25th. Of course, the Eastern Orthodox Christians celebrate Christmas on 7th of January. Now, one thing we are going to discuss here also is why Easter, the date of Easter is not, it changes yearly. Every year we see different dates. Sometimes we celebrate Easter in March, and sometimes we celebrate Easter in April. So that also, we also have the Lunar New Year. We have Masha, Ash Wednesday. These are religious celebrations from different religion. We have Ramadan, celebrated by the Islam. We have Orthodox Great Lent, which begins on March 18th. We have Purim. There's Palm Sunday, there's Holi, there's Diwali, there's Good Friday. Then we have Easter, Eid al-Fitr. Sorry, I don't want to mispronounce that. We have the Passover, we have the Pentecost, we have Veshak, we have Shavuot by the Judaism people, and there's a lot. There are so many religious days that are celebrated by people out there. And one unique thing about these religious days is that each is celebrated in a different way. There are different rituals, traditions that are performed in preparation or on the day of these religious celebrations. You can pick them. Let's discuss randomly the religious days and some of the rituals that are performed on those days.
Okay.
We'll start with you.
I think I'm getting to love it because I'm seeming to take the privilege much.
Yeah.
But okay, when you look at the Muslim fraternity, actually it is a happy, I should say happy Ramadan to them. When you look at the Muslims in particular, the most celebrated day in the Islam faith, it is not, you didn't want to call the other name. But it is called Eid al-Adha. You know, that is how they call it. And why they celebrate it most is, you know, there's something we have that is much in likeness, though not that bit. When you look at the story of Abraham in the Muslim, in the Islam faith, it is, they're looking at the sacrifice bit. And now for them, their interpretation about it is the slaughtering. And that is why they take that Eid is so serious. That is the most celebrated in them. Now, when you take Buddhism, for them, theirs is Yom. Oh my God, forgive. It is terrible. And for them, theirs is they're looking at the covenant. It is covenant. So, like each celebration in each religion, actually, there's a way we tend to attach certain things to them. And now the way we attach a feeling or we attach a way of doing something which literally becomes a ritual to it at the end of the day, it makes, you know, it becomes a tradition. So like for the Muslim I did say, and then for the Buddhism, then I think I'm getting to think, when you look at the Christian body, I want to tell you there's Christmas. I want to tell you there's Easter. Yesterday I was walking in the towns of Arua City. And then I reached around some place just down in town there. I could see how people were celebrating. You know, the faith walk, moving, dancing, you know. Exactly, it's the way of the cross. I've never seen a day in the Christian, let's say, practice, religious practice, that they have taken to that point. Maybe Matters Day where they take those instances of moving. But I can tell you, for yesterday, the whole town was filled with a lot of excitement. I was even watching on TV how they were, you know, showing how the faithfuls were moving. So to me, I think the Easter in the life of a Christian is very important, that they can do anything for. Yeah, that is what I think.
Yeah, it's a very important day, like you say. Christians attach so much importance when it comes to Easter. For instance, we even have people who, you know, sacrifice and for that day be Jesus, and they carry the cross, and others even took it so far. I'm seeing photos on social media. People are being nailed, people are being tied to the cross, people are moving like Jesus. You know, they're recreating what happened decades ago, just to remind Christians of what Jesus went through, the sacrifice he made for our salvation. Yeah, we should be grateful, and yeah, thank you, Jesus, I must say. So I'll turn to you. What are some of the rituals or traditions attached to religious days like Easter and any other?
Yeah, just to pick up from what you're saying, when I look at what people were doing yesterday and any other days, they're practicing what Jesus did. But I only ask myself one question, but is it real? How I wish it would be real. We perform these rituals by carrying the cross. Tomorrow we come back and start doing what we were doing the other day.
That's human.
The crime rate increases. The people, I mean, people get it as like an opportunity. That day, if Jesus poured blood for my sake, what about the person who was carrying this cross yesterday? Did he or she pour the blood? How I wish it remains forever that humanity is taken to that level that now sin is gone and we substitute it. Since the other day, yesterday and today, I think the key message there people are practicing is that corruption. That Uncle Judas was moving with this in this team, and he's a treasurer, He's a treasurer. The scripture says he would pick some money and he uses him for himself. You see, when I read that scripture, I was like, without the permission. So, people are practicing this. When I was in the West, there is something they call the mukago, where if I'm in love with a lady, our love can reach to the extent that we perform a ritual. I cut my blood, you cut yours,
The
we
blood
mix them,
pact.
and we stew it. So it means we have made a covenant. Covenanted. But this covenant Jesus made, if we take it back yesterday when he was arrested at the dawn, maybe Thursday night, and he's brought here, beaten, what? Then in the mid-morning he's crucified and put there on the cross. But the thing is, the rituals people are performing now as Easter, as Good Friday, as they move on, do they take it to the extent that that is what the Lord did and that is for them?
Okay.
If you take to the Muslim sacrificing the animals, and this is a time when they are giving. Right now, as they are fasting, yesterday I went in a restaurant, we got a lady who had cooked a lot of food by 3, 4. We asked what is happening. He said, I'm going to call all Muslim brothers to come and break their fast here.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Sorry, we'll continue with that discussion after this short break. We're going on for a very short break. Don't go away. We'll still come back with the Real Talk here on West Nile TV.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
AFCON, all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that short break, and thank you for joining us on this show here on West Nile TV. And for you who have remained with us, thank you very much. You can be a part of this show by going to our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel. All you have to do is like, subscribe, and leave a comment what you think on this topic of discussion on today. And today we are discussing religious day celebrations, and we are focusing on the Easter day celebration. Easter Sunday is tomorrow, and a lot of things have been done, rituals performed in preparation for this day, as we discussed earlier. And someone said this week, this is the betrayal week, like he already said earlier, the Judas week, and people are thanking Judas. Okay, for the very first time I've seen people thanking Judas for betraying Jesus, because our holiday started on I think Friday was off, and it's going to continue till Tuesday, and people have thanked Judas for that endlessly. And but one thing people have not forgotten is Judas' betrayal. So if you have been kissed by anyone this week, whether a friend, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, just know you have been betrayed.
If you have what?
So
If you have been kissed. And that is the understanding of the Judas week. So if you have been kissed, you have been betrayed. Don't ask me how, but you will find out. This time it may not be for money, it could be for food or for a favor, you never know. But that is it. Judas betrayed Jesus by a kiss, only one kiss like this, and our Lord was betrayed. So be careful who you deal with. And there's a lot of lesson to learn from that, and a lot more that happened this week. And we shall discuss this in the due course of the discussion. Earlier on, we were still discussing some of the rituals that people, perform on these days. And someone talked about the Easter bunnies, the Easter eggs. I don't know if it's a common practice here, but I see it in movies. The Americans, okay, whites do it a lot, but I've not seen it common here.
Actually, I think one of the things, while I was in school, that is high school, some school within West Nile, we would do a lot of the paintings, but I didn't know why the paintings were done.
Oh.
So I remember they would buy the eggs in the morning, then they boil like a lot of eggs, and then they go hide them. They close all of you in the dormitories, and then they go hide, the eggs. Then they open, you guys all run out to go and look for the eggs. We used to just run and look for eggs. We didn't know why, but it was always done on Easter.
Yeah.
And we didn't know why we were running to do those things. But yes, I got to understand the meaning later. Just to know, in a Christian life, okay, in the ancient time, actually eggs were being used as a symbol of new life. So in the Christian life that is today, we look at the egg now is representing Jesus in the new life. They say because Jesus is new life. When you're in Jesus, when you receive Jesus, you've received a new life. So in the current actually Christianity, they look at the egg as Jesus, as a symbol. It is just part of the ritual that is being done there. So you can't imagine that we used to run after eggs for nothing. But I come to think about it, I never got someone with the name Iscariot anyway. I've had Judas, but
I've never had Iscariot. I've not even had Judas.
I've been no Judas at least.
Judas
I've had.
is there.
Yeah, Judas is there.
Judas.
I hope they don't treat him like the Judas in the Bible because of the name.
I can imagine, but I have looked for the name Iscariot. Like I've been pondering about this the whole of yesterday. It has disturbed me. I think it's something very serious.
But when you say somebody kissed you, should have done the representation of Judas.
What Judas did.
It may not be the name, maybe called everywhere, but the actions of what people are doing.
Okay.
Could be in place.
Yeah.
You can be, they say there is no one who doesn't know you who can betray you. All your enemies are your friends.
Are your friends.
Somebody first becomes your friend, moves around with you, knows your lifestyle, your social status, knows whatever it takes. Then that's when he betrays you.
Okay.
Because Judas, Uncle Judas was called.
Oh,
He
his
moved.
Uncle Judas.
He moved in the team for a long time. Jesus was here for 3 years and a half. So, I mean, in that ministry, this guy moved with him. He knew him. I mean, if he didn't know Jesus, he would have just gone to kiss Peter. He would have gone to kiss another person else.
Yeah.
But because he knew him, he went and kissed him direct. So, your enemy cannot come and kiss you. It's always your friends who come and do that to you.
Okay. We shall go into the relevance of these days, celebrating these days later. But now I want us to focus on some of the myths surrounding these days. But before that, one thing he said about Uncle Judas, it's true. Your enemies don't come from afar. You know, someone says it's even better for you to befriend someone you don't know than someone you know, because this person knows you very, very well, and sometimes friends and family who betray you. So this is one lesson that we should never live here without learning. So if you forget to take anything, please make sure you take this, because even when they were having the Last Supper, Jesus said, someone here is going to betray me, and everyone said, not me, my Lord. And guess who said that to? Judas. So please be careful. What are some of the myths surrounding the celebration of these religious days? For example, Easter, people are questioning why we don't have, that one date that we celebrate Easter. Easter is always changing yearly, and yeah, that's just one of them that people have.
Okay, I think literally when you look at why the dates keep changing. Now, when you look at our calendar, it is not so stable. It is not actually the obvious thing that it's going to be like this. Now, if I get to, when you take our country, that is Ethiopia, I can tell you the 7 years back. Now, they will celebrate their Christmas even before we celebrate. Like, everything about them is there. But are we not in the same universe? I mean, making it worse, we are even in Africa. Not worse, but making it more beautiful. I look at that as beauty. You can imagine how God can come and fix certain things like this, yet we are all living the same. So I think literally this comes to the running of the year. I really don't think if a date or a day can be fixed by us. Yes, there was a date that this is done, just like as you can maybe. I was born, let me give myself as an example. I was born on the 3rd of June. Now, I was born on the 3rd of June. I will not expect 3rd of June to fall on let's say last year, was it Saturday or Sunday? I'm forgetting. I'm not going to expect the same to be the same day for today. So because of such occurrences, and then let's say forces, maybe science, it's a lot. That maybe we just that is the reason as to why we don't have a specific fall off in a day that it's supposed to be on this day. Yeah, for Easter.
Yeah, interesting how the days keep changing. Apart from the years, the days of the year changing, I think Easter is also determined by the Jewish calendar, because they are the ones who determine the Passover. So I think that what we do, the Christians do, is calculate the last 3 days, and that's what determines Easter, aside from the changing dates of the year. We've seen many myths surrounding this, and we've also had challenges revolving around the celebration of some of these religious days. For example, the rituals performed, like yesterday people were having the way of the cross, and then there are other people who are questioning, but is it necessary to walk with the cross? Are you sure you're doing what Jesus really did? What you're doing is not even right. So there are those criticism that come with the celebration of some of these days. So what do you take it as a Christian?
Let me add something a little bit about the issue of the date changing. Why? Scientifically, we realize there is Earth and the Moon moving, rotating around. So the time it takes to rotate is the time we now have those changes. It can be this time in March, this time in... I was telling guys that very soon Easter will be on Sunday, and also Muslim Eid will be on Sunday or Saturday, because they are pushing. After 10 days, people are going for Eid. And next year you might find it is pushing 5 days closer. Another day you might find people going for Good Friday. Muslims will be breaking their whatever, their fasting. So it keeps on moving. I think it is now the rotation.
Okay.
Scientifical, that's what I look at. But back to what are the myths and what are things people are doing. Remember on Friday, not on Friday, let's take it back to Ash Wednesday. People go with ndende, people go with that, it's called what? What is
Palm
that?
leaves.
Palm leaves.
Yeah.
People go with it to church.
On
They
Palm
come
Sun-
on Palm Sunday, they fix it in their rooms, in their living rooms, in their wherever they keep it. It rotates the whole year, and then somebody says Ash Wednesday, they begin to burn what?
The
Do you
palm
realize?
leaves, yes.
People burn that whatever they were keeping in their house, mix it with oil, go and apply it on what? They don't go and cut a fresh, then they dry it. That we're going for what? Ash Wednesday.
Wednesday.
But they are picking what was last year on that Palm Sunday that has dried in their bedrooms, in their living rooms, and they burn it and they bring it on people and apply some oil. Some people start putting a cross on the face of.
Yeah.
I think it is traditional.
Yes, it is.
It is a religious issue. Not all religions, or let me say, not all the dinis will apply that on them, but that is what. If you would ask, why do you keep it for 1 year and then you burn it, you put oil and start applying on somebody, somebody will give you an explanation for that. But these are things that are surrounding us. On Friday, people are carrying the cross. I saw some even carrying the most heaviest. There are those who are carrying the small one. There are those, they put their rosary into their lips, bite it so hard that they are moving around with it. And I mean, what does this mean all to us? Does it mean we are doing these things just imitating? Are we just imitating what somebody did and at the end of the day it's not applying into our lives? I mean, you rightly put it, that day people gathered around and they were sharing food, and Jesus was asking that day, one of you is going to betray me, one of you is going to do this, and everybody was asking, is it me or what? I mean, there's also another ritual, another myth of washing of the feet.
The feet, yeah.
Somewhere on Thursday, that come on Thursday. The way dirty you are, just sit there. Atala will come and wash your legs or your feet, and then they begin to rotate it around amongst ourselves, and we are washing. What does this signify to us? People are talking it like love. And Uncle Peter says, don't only wash my feet,
My feet.
wash entirely.
Oh, Peter took it personal.
Yes, but you remember the other auntie who comes also with the expensive oil, pours it on his feet,
Yeah.
and starts rubbing it with her
Her hair.
hair. All these are still ritual.
Okay.
I mean rituals, and I mean there are these small things that are surrounding us. But at the end of the day, there's a certain woman walk here. You go to your pastor and you buy this oil, olive oil, or about that expensive oil. You bring it to the church and pour it in the feet of your bishop. Put it in the feet of your pastor or your whatever title you have given, and you're rubbing. What will other people see at the end of the day? Does it make any sense to us, or we're just practicing what was done there?
Done.
At the end of the day, it is outwardly. So those are some of the things that are practiced.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've nicely brought out some of the rituals that are performed on the different days of the religious celebrations, specifically to that of Christians. And now we have these days, before we go into looking at the relevance of these days, we've seen how the celebration has evolved over time. it used to be different. For instance, Christmas used to be a day where people would go to the villages, spend time with, you know, it was like a family gathering where you have all generations. You can have 5 generations in one place celebrating Christmas, and it's not the same today, and that has changed for all the different religious celebrations. So how has this changed with time, and how does the modern generation look at the celebration of these religious days?
Okay, I think the modern people are trying to not take things, should I say, personal what, but I think I when getting back to the old days, they took it to an extent. It was love, because by the time generations are gathering into a whole family, you might find that for the whole year they have not met, and people come from elsewhere, even across the world, and they're just coming for this same gathering. I think, to me, that was as Pastor Isaac had said earlier on, I get the aspect of love in there. But then when you look at now, many people tend to you know, people have gotten, they're not attaching values to some of these things. They feel when I'm my own, it is okay. I can attest to it. By the way, I don't even remember the last time on a Christian festive day that I has been home, like with people, with the family. I am always out now. The fact that I also ventured into the other side of the music, you know, so I don't sit home. It is not because you don't want, but you feel the other things are much important than being home, you know. So there's a way people have just decided, okay, if it's a day of celebration, I have gone to church, I have prayed, and then I've come home. I think most people are looking at it like building a relationship. What is my personal relationship with God about this? Is it family? Okay. Does it come in if it is me and God, and then I just say hi and check on them and something like that? So I think the modern world right now is more of themselves than a family thing. Because those days, truthfully, I'll tell you, I remember even, I still have memories of when I was young and how I would go to the village. And ask me the last time I went to the village in a group like this.
Where did you spend Christmas last year?
I know, when you ask this, it was even in another district where I had no one, you know. So it is literally just the value that we have personally decided to attach to these days. Some of us in the generation have decided to take it personal. We can meet with the family anytime. Yeah. Those days, on such days, new clothes. Trust me. and when your parent doesn't get for this new cloth, there's a problem.
Yeah,
and your neighbor will get a new cloth and they will come and, where is my clothes? And you will die. Because, you know, but right now, all these values, okay, some of these things that we attach, as much as they look, they do not add to the spiritual value or celebration of this, but in one way or the other, there's a way it made significance. I just, today, as I was moving in town, I didn't feel it like yesterday it was a group of people together moving, but for today I could notice that the town was filled up. Then I got on a board and then I told them, it looks like it is Christmas, you know. So there's a way it also created this, like people are filled up in town, they are going to look for what to eat. They want to get with some category of people, they want that kind of thing. So I think people just have decided to do certain things their own way and not mind of how someone wants it to be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're still looking at how the modern interpretation of these religious days, you know, how people used to see Christmas, how people used to see Easter, how people used to see Ramadan, was quite different from how it is seen today. How has that changed over time, and what has caused this change?
In the past, people gather, like the way you have said, people gather themselves and go back to their villages, sit around, eat that food. And those days, we ate food. Let me take it back. We ate food together. Bring mom mingos inyasa and poso, whatever it is, put it together in one sawan, and then puts the sauce in one. You sit around, and an elder begins to distribute meat. And for us who would be clever those days, they give you, you put yours down there. Your hand
my
is
God.
remaining empty. So when they see you eating only soup, they would add for you more, then you pick the other one that you had put down there. That was communion. Even Christmas was communion. Easter was communion. Eid was communion. But today, people have plates around. People have, those days plates would be hidden for visitors. But these days plates are brought for everyone at home.
Yeah.
They bring food there, everybody chops for himself. Sometimes you arrive late, they put your seat that side, you wait, and they finish their food because you're not counted into it. So what has changed so much is now what we call the modern issues that have affected us.
Okay,
Also, along the way,
before you continue, I remember vividly those years when we go to the village for maybe Easter or something. I had this grandma, when you're at home and it's Easter, you don't shout, you don't scream, you don't play music, there's no radio, there's no nothing, but all you do is you just sit. Everything you do in silence and quietly. So that is how it was. But today we're hearing music, Jesus is dying, Jesus is being betrayed, people are shouting, people are screaming, people are dancing normally. So what does that tell about the modern times?
things have changed. Sometimes we say if you don't change, change will do what?
Change you.
So if you remained in that ovta, if you remained in that quietness, if you remained in the time of making sure that we practice what was in the past, you will get yourself changing. Today, you will reach. I mean, even those days, the way people lived together is not the way we're living today. Even along the way, things have changed because of sicknesses and diseases that have also come in. Don't gather, don't move together, don't stay together, now move alone. But also, I say the Western world has cropped in. Because in Western, people live in their own. For us, I would say a girl or a boy of 18 years would move on her own, or he would move on his own and make a family. But the other side, the moment you clock the age of that limit,
16.
yes,
Yeah, it's 16.
16, other countries put 15, others put at 18. So they move on their own. I was out last year. You find we are all seated here, but we're talking using WhatsApp. We're all seated here.
That's a disease of the 21st century.
Like somebody was saying in the family that, Mommy, today I'm not eating what? This food. Now, why are you not eating? But Mommy, I sent for you a message. In your phone, you first check what I sent.
Oh my God.
So, so in today's world, we end up finding ourselves that things have changed. Even this Easter has changed. It is not celebrated like the way it was done last year. This Good Friday has changed. Things have moved on. So if we don't change, change will change us. But now, do we remain what we are? Assuming God comes back today, maybe the question will be asked later on. But things have changed. Total things have changed because of the Western world. We have said we are modernized.
But let's look at it from this point of view. Christianity is something that comes from the Western world. It's not our religion, if I must say. So they have, there's a way they celebrate. If you watch Christmas movies, it's more of those, you know, coming together, communal, the Easter thing. So for us here, I think it has changed. People have come more of individual the
yes.
Celebrations. They used to be things that would focus, and that is where the discussion brings us to the relevance of celebrating these religious days. One that we cannot deny, obviously, is that it brought people together. It was a way of bringing people to sit. You know, families gather, maybe friends at workplaces. You sit and you celebrate. Where people marry, people take time off to share love, share meals, and all those other things. And these religious days have been very, very important in the lives of people, not only to bring them together, but we've seen the impact of this day, celebrating these days on individuals, on groups of people in the community at large, because on these days I believe people do different things, like even charity, works of charity and all that. So right now I want us to focus on the significance of celebrating these religious days, the different religious days in the different religions.
Okay. I think one thing I'm going to talk about, if it comes to Easter, and then we look at the Muslim bit of the Eid al-Adha, that forgiving, you know, it all comes to giving. We are giving, and giving is some great thing that even the scriptures talk about. So when you give, you're practicing what the Bible wants of you. Now, Easter, just on Sunday, my pastor was preaching and saying, get time and visit 3 people. Just go and visit and give them, show them love. I could attest by yesterday when I saw people moving on the street, they were excited, moving together, joyfully singing. I think it brings joy. It brings love, because love, I cannot be with you if I don't love you. I mean, true. It brings love, it brings joy, and then it also, most importantly to me, this has been a season that has drawn people to God. I can give you an example. You move to the town, the people who have been chewing a lot of Maironji in town, you get the number of those days, and now if it is there. People have decided to know God. People have decided to build a relationship with God. Some are doing it unknowingly. Some do it knowingly, yes. But there's a way this season has made people understand God in a different way. Mm-hmm. Others have said, I am fasting this now. That is something like which is not right, maybe in between them and God, which is paving them off the way of God. But the only cry I would have is if it continued over time. Unfortunately, we do it just in the time of this period. So when you look at the, as you just say, significance of these days, might be the celebrations, I look at it building love. I look at it building, imparting in peace. Like there's some joy that people have, which you cannot. Right, I'm talking to you right now, but I'm having a picture of a gentleman I saw yesterday in the line, singing, very excited, and it's someone very serious. I could see on the TVs an MP going to carry the cross. I want to do this. To me, I felt that was unity. That was
and we also saw how the police here in West Nile were also doing the way of the cross.
So tell me if it is not unity. Trust me, right now you see a police there, you want to run out. That is the picture that people have about police, where they come, there's a crime and they're coming to see things, so people tend to run away. But for yesterday, they came together. For yesterday, great leaders, let's say the MPs that people sometimes think we cannot get access to them, they were easily in people. So to me, I feel such days bring people together. They make unite people, and above all, it builds love. But the greatest is building a relationship between us and God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. One thing you don't want to miss from these days is, especially Easter, the celebration of Easter, is humility. We're able to see these leaders come. I mean, they are people, much as they have a rank, but here they're also people. They need to relate. We see how Jesus himself comes and, he sits to share a meal with his disciples. He would actually say, I'm divine, so I cannot sit with you. You sit there, I sit this side. But he was humble enough to wash the feet of his disciples, something that we emulate in the Christian church today, to show humility. And that is one thing that we also learned. And if you've still not learned from the story of Judas, you should be able to learn some of that. So turning to Isaac, our preacher, what are some of the significances of celebrating these religious days in our lives as Christian and also as non-Christian? Because I believe as we relate, you could be a Christian, you could be a Muslim, you could be other religion, but also as these people celebrate some of these days, you see what they practice, because some of them includes charity. They can go out to you and you also get to learn something. So I believe it's of significance to everyone.
Yeah, it's of great. Just you go to the town around, people have been fasting for 30 days, fasting for 40 days. Crime rate has come down. These movements, you are moving, border is crossing you from the other side instead of taking you on the right side. I mean, things have changed. I believe people are selling Mairungi. They are selling business. Their profits have come down. Those who are drinking, that rate, that alcohol, selling of those beers have all come down. I mean, crime rate has come down if you look generally in our town of Arua. Probably in other towns could be the same thing. When you come to unity, people have been saying, let's live together. Let's come together as brothers and sisters. You look at forgiveness. Talk of the love. I gave an example that I got a lady in a restaurant cooking a number of things that Muslims are coming to do at breakfast here. I mean, this period brings people together and they're like, this is our time to come together. If something was wrong between us, we forgive each other. I was giving an example that Jesus comes around and sits, he says, bring for me water in the basin, begins to wash the feet. I mean, he asks Uncle Peter, do you really love me? Yes, Lord, I love you. 3 times. He got annoyed as a human being. I mean, even me, I would say, Jesus, are you really serious? I've already answered you and you're asking me back, but it is love. And there was assignment given. So this period of time, there has been assignment given to us that you love one another. Forgive. It's been an assignment that even on the cross, somebody says, forgive them, forgive him, for he doesn't know what he's doing. You remember there are 2 people, there were those 2 uncles who had a problem, and they were supposed to be the one to be crucified. And Jesus lost election that very morning to Barnabas. That morning, as they were they were voting, that whom should we release? People say they release to us this terrible thief, this terrible killer. They release to us this person. But this other one, crucify, shouting crucify, meaning Jesus lost election that very morning as the other guy won. A thief won election and the person who was innocent lost it. For my sake, for whoever is watching us sake. But what does it all bring to us? That's one person dying for all of us to take our sins. If you go back to Muslim faith, Islamic faith, what they're exercising, they're humbling themselves. What they're exercising is they're loving one another. What they're exercising is that let's not take drug as a first priority. Let's take it back to us that we do away with that and we come back. Others will begin to eat it after futuru. But others abandon it completely. Completely, that for 30 days I am not going to do this. And when you go to the young girls, it has this period that the young girl will tell you, I'm not going to have any sexual intercourse with you. A true Muslim girl will tell you that, and that is what she believes in. So crime rate has come down. If there was going to be babies born at this period of time in the Muslim families, they are not there. They have to be penned for more than 30 days. You wait. Your girlfriend will tell you, I am not going to have sex with you. And that is it. I'm a believer. Some of these things are helping us in that way. But otherwise, if we take it, it also has its negative impact on us. It has its positive impact on us as well. At this point, people would say, these other people who are fasting, they say my food time is now. Those, if you have been eating during daytime, it is my time to eat. So you don't come near me. So people, I mean, in the other way around, in negatively, people will also I had this lady I was working with, when this day all the staff are fasting and some people are not fasting. If today she says she's fasting, breakfast she gets her portion and keeps. Lunchtime comes, if you are eating chicken, so when she's got to break her fast in the evening, she collects all this food. You're like, you're now hungry, you want to feed with us. No, for you had already what? It's already eaten. So sometimes bhakti also makes people to distance themselves from us as we move on into these festival seasons. Those kind of things come. But again, during daytime, they're humbling themselves. At night, they're stealing. So you wonder, is this the person who carried the cross? Is this the person who was during daytime fasting? So it also has negative impact on us as we move on, as the changes are happening around us.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I'd love us to do is to draw lessons basing on Easter from the events that happened before Easter. We see how Jesus is betrayed by Judas Iscariot with a kiss, and because he was promised 30 pieces of silver. And then we see Simon Peter, who says, I love you. You know, Jesus asked him, do you love me? And he said yes 3 times. But what happened when they asked Simon Peter, do you know, he denied Jesus also 3 times. So we see a theme of love versus betrayal. What Jesus has for us is pure love. But then on the other side, we also see betrayal. So let's bring this home to us here. Let's relate it to our very own environment. What kind of lesson do we draw from these incidences?
I think before I go to the lessons, I would really want to say, I deep down, I feel Peter loved Jesus. It is just that it is human. You know, sometimes in the flesh, we're taken up in some things. I really, guys, so it's like, man, Jesus, there was situation like, wait, let me just find the way. Exactly. Me, I feel he loved Jesus. He was just trying to get his way out to see that he was safe. But nonetheless, you know, as Pastor Isaac had said earlier on, you know, what we call love, first of all, the Bible tells me God is love. So, when you practice love, meaning you have God in you. Now, when Jesus asked Peter about love, and he said that, but then let's take it, he didn't love. Let's say he just meant it by word of mouth. It doesn't seem to make sense. I had a friend who would one time say, for me, if I don't like someone, I'll tell them I don't like them. If I like them, they will really know that I like them. And then you ask them, but when the other one that you say I don't like, you feel bad, it's like it's better they know that I don't like them than pretending. So the love of Christ in particular, it is at no cost. It is free. It is beautiful. It is a love that you feel, oh my God, I don't even know which best words I can say. But I think one thing we can love about this is especially about the death. No human would allow to go through such a painful situation or circumstance to see that the justice said, Ayot, let me ask you, would you really die for me?
Oh, please. Someone says, I'm not Jesus.
I know. You get.
You know,
but
before people used to say, I love you so much that I can die for you. But
Yeah.
these days they tell you, I love you, but I cannot die
But
for
the
you.
beauty, even that time they will say, I can die for you, but they don't die. It remains by word of mouth. So, you know, you just imagine how someone can give in their life and go through the pain he went through for the sake of someone. Like, hey, trust me, in this life, you don't sin and they say they're going to beat you for someone. Go alone. Even
And
if
you know
it's
how
someone you love so much.
ungrateful humans are,
Yeah.
how ungrateful we are.
Trust me, sometimes I sit and I ponder about the love of Christ. This thing that he has done, it is true he lived in spirit and human, because he had to come in human to relate with us. Just imagine Jesus came in spirit, none of us would believe.
No.
But he had to come in human and then in spirit, so that we would get to relate and believe in him. So just know, if he didn't come and feel this pain, my God, sometimes I think about this pain and I feel, better sometimes I cry. I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
So sometimes I sit and I'm thinking about the love, and I feel even through these things that we do are so many. Sometimes you just do something small to a parent, they beat you and they even they kick you out of their house.
People have disowned their own children.
Yes, it is happening. It is not new, and it has continued to happen. And tomorrow even another one is happening somewhere. I'm not a prophetess. But then these are realities of life that they're happening. But just imagine someone gave his only son to die for you and for me, their only son, and saying, my friend, go through this pain for the sake of winning. Go through this pain for the sake, it is, to me the love, and it has taught me a lot these days. I am trying, I am not there, but I am really trying to see that I show love to my surrounding. Wherever I put my feet, I am trying to see that someone sees the love of Christ in me. That is how I want to preach or talk to someone else. At least anything I say, let me say it in love. Because when I look at the story of Christ throughout, he was speaking, even when Peter, when he asked, do you love me? And, he didn't throw on him. He didn't maybe say anything to discuss him. Like, I was seeing a clip yesterday that when they asked, when they were at the table, when they were at the table eating.
The Last Supper.
Yes, the Last Supper. And then Jesus was asking, one of you here is going to betray me. And then one said, is it me, Jesus? No. Is it me, Jesus? No. Then the third one comes, Judas. Is it me, Jesus? No. Jesus says, no. And then I laughed. So that is not the Jesus that we're talking about. He does not even throw, but even when he knows. He continued with Judas, even when he knew Judas was the one going to betray him. He continued, even when he knew that Peter was going to deny him, he still continued. He's not the type of a person who is going to, or come even after knowing. For us in human body, you start ignoring such a person because you start saying betrayal. Now in the current life, you go on status. You're posting about such a person. That is what is happening. But to me, above all, I think I am seeing the love in the current, and it is teaching me, and I see it also in the church. I see it with the surrounding. Yeah.
Interesting. What you have said has really moved me, where Jesus says, nyo, nyo, nyo. Meme lords, I don't know, but maybe there's a special place for you in hell. I'm not sure of that. The things you have done with Jesus, I don't know. But that's just one example. So turning to you, we've seen a lot of incidences that precede the Easter day, the resurrection of the Lord. And so what are some of the lessons that a Christian can draw from this?
I was saying that a lot of has been preached about corruption. Sometimes people take this day for granted.
Speaking of corruption, I saw a meme today where someone had Judas, and he says, people were pointing fingers at me for accepting this money, but if I were in Uganda, I would be the president of Uganda. Okay, I don't know what that really means, but that is what is making rounds on social media.
Yeah. So that corruption this guy did, I think, work. But at the end of the day, he also worked for himself. He could not eat the money. He ended up throwing it there. They used it for buying a piece of land somewhere there. And if he ended up also hanging himself at the end of the day. Did he benefit? No. There's somebody who sing a song of Abayuda, something like that. It's, I think, worldly song. It had a meaning. These people you eat in the same plate, these people you move with, these people you have all what it takes, it's where it is. We draw a lesson that not every glittering every glittering thing you see amongst your friends is a gold in them. At the end of the day, they put you aside. At the end of the day, they do whatever it takes. That's what happens between Judas and the... Because there are people, Judas could have no problem. But there are people who wanted to reach to Jesus, to kill. Because our point here is to kill Jesus.
Yes.
But amongst us, nobody knows him. Nobody knows his move. Nobody knows how he eats. Nobody knows how he sleeps. But they are, let's get somebody inside in the circle.
Yeah, and inside
So
out.
they were plotting to all of us. They can plot against you. They can plot against me. They just want to see who exactly can be the best if you want to reach to Lillian. So, oh, Lillian's friend is so and so. Could we start from here? I mean, Judas could have said, no, I cannot do this thing. They start convincing him until he says, I can do it. You want to reach Jesus? Now I'm ready, I can do it. How much? This amount of money. Okay, we move. I mean, Nigerians have played these moves. Somebody says, I need so and so off my line. They have done that. So that is a great lesson for us to pick, that your best friend is your best betrayer, is your best enemy, is your best, all those, we can describe them. When it comes to the area of love, the person who, by the way, when you look at the life of Uncle Peter, he was not the first person who met Jesus. He was told that, we have met the Lord, come and join also. But at the end of the day, he became a leader. The power of networking around. That I can network, at the end of the day, he takes the position. I mean, there were those guys who met Jesus first.
Yeah, before him.
Before him. They were there with their father, with their nets. I mean, they said, this is the Lord we are following. Then they said, Peter, this guy they talked about, Jesus, is here. We met him. Peter says, where? He joins the team. But at the end of the day, Peter becomes the leader, team leader. I mean, those who met him first would be the team leader. It is not about meeting him first. It is about the genuine heart, the commitment you have shown. Peter says, now I'm going to commit. Even he reached the extent that whoever will come to kill you, they will first kill me. And he saw it. When people come to arrest him, he removes his sword and cuts off the ear. I mean, he was serious. But the thing is, did he end? That time when they reached there, I mean, he could not even access the door. He could not access the gate. And the scholars say that when Jesus was inside there being tried, Peter remained at the gate. It is John who went and picked him. Other scholars say that the person who was trying Jesus at this point could be related to John, because for if you are related to the king, you can access the gate. He went and picked him and brought him here. But as they were now at the round table for that fire, says, remember the prophets that you will deny me 3 times.
3 times when the cock crows.
When the cock crows. So all those things happened in between there as the trial was going on. So in terms of love, we can give our best. But the thing is, do we give it up to the end? Like the way Jesus did it. I'm quite sure people were carrying the cross yesterday. If I go to them today, this night, or tomorrow, the next day, they will join the team of doing negative things. But yesterday they were carrying what? They were carrying the cross. But does it signify to our lives that this guy, we went for a crusade. Let me give you this example. The guy had just come from Akere. He says he's the one going to preach. We gave him the platform. But as the crusade was going on, they were chasing a thief, robber. So at night, it was around coming to 8 now. When they shoot a gun, it goes with fire. You see the light. So they shot a gun targeting towards the pulpit where the crusade guy, for us were down there, but this guy was preaching.
Yeah.
But as the light was moving, this gun, the bullet was moving, the guy even jumped off the stage. He was preaching. He jumped off the stage and took off. So one of us jumped on the pulpit and started preaching and making altar call, as though the crowd may think the guy is still the one doing what? He had taken off long time. I was driving with a friend from Kampala. We reached around Ajia, their homes there. almost approaching. People were standing 2-2. We said now, the guy told me, let us stop where these two the gentleman and the lady were standing. We flashed on them, reached where they were, and said, what are you doing with my sister? This guy took off. I mean, you should have been telling this lady, I love you, you're my own, I will fight for you, I will die for you.
Sure,
but this time when the light was flashed, what are you doing with my sister?
Run for your life.
He ran for his life and left this girl here. And we started asking this girl, you see, the guy who told you I'm in love with you
Ladies.
is nowhere to be seen. So this guy is who said, I'm going to die with you. I am going to make sure that this happens. They're the very first people who will take off. You'll see their backs first.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a very vivid example to drive home the point of loyalty. So when they test your loyalty, do you think you can pass the test just like Peter, who denied Jesus at the last minute? But that is just that still bringing our minds to Easter celebration and celebrating religious days at large. Let's talk about religious days versus work. We know the people who work there. They're people of different religion in different workplaces. For example, here in West Nile TV, we have people, we have Christians, we have Muslims, we have Orthodox, we have different. It's the same scenario in different workplace. Let's not forget we also have the pagan, people who have no religion, and we have traditionalists, people who believe in tradition, you know, our African ways. We have those people. And now for us, let's talk about Christians, maybe Muslims who have religious days like Eid, we have Christmas, we have we have Ash Wednesday, and all those days. Some of these workplaces do not recognize these religious days, and we have people who are devoted to their religion, who want to celebrate this day. For instance, on Friday, some people would say, we expect you to be at work. But then for a Christian would feel like I want to go do the way of the cross, but now your boss is not allowing you. So speaking about these workspaces, the environment, do you think every workspace should take the religious day consideration, celebrations, or maybe the religion of each individual employee into consideration? For instance, if it's Eid, you give them a day off. If it's other days, you also give them, you know, to go and worship and celebrate. Do you think every workplace should take that into consideration?
Okay, I think when you look at working environment, before, let's take, when people are getting jobs, others apply, others are called for. So when you're applying for a job, you know, there are those, first of all, you have your JDs, you have how this organization runs its things, you know them. Now, in the long run, there are those ones because you want a job. Sometimes you're applying for a job because you need money badly. You're applying for a job that does not support maybe your religious beliefs. Now, you want to go for this job. At the end of the day, your employee, is it employee, employer?
Employer.
And your employer is not going to want, you know, your religion or your belief to sabotage his or her organization activities. So when you're doing such a thing, first of all, in the long run, when you get there, you can build a relationship. And then secondly, in a time, but when you go there and you know they don't want, and you feel this one cannot work out for you, you will either have to choose between money or, because people come up with different, people come up with organizations or with jobs or with works for different reasons. For instance, as I said earlier on, I'm a journalist. People are going to want information from Monday to Monday. I keep telling some people, no one, you at home, you want to listen to the radio. You're not going to tell me that because it's a public holiday, I want to switch off the radio. You would want to listen to it. And yet I know it is a public holiday. Someone somewhere got home on Thursday. They're still home. They'll get back for work on Tuesday or Wednesday. But there's you who has to be there every day because people want to listen to you. So that all comes to which work do you do? How do they do it? what are the terms and conditions that come with it. But nonetheless, it is also good when an employer is seeking for this, and you really know, at least with a human heart, you can give them some, just a day or 2 days for them to go and also build up a time with God. But there are people that I know who will say no, because it is my belief, it is my religion. If it is, let the work stay, I'm going for this. There are people that come like that. And there are those ones that will obviously go and plead for. But then there are those ones again, the employers. Some are friendly, they will understand. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting idea coming in from you there. Isaac, do you think employers should incorporate religious days into their calendar? You have a work schedule, or maybe a year opens from this to that, but on this date of this month we have this celebration by the Christians, maybe Muslims. So should every employer have that on their calendar?
Yeah, I'm also one of the employers. Okay. I work with an NGO. I have an NGO. I have some schools that I opened. Considerably, I have people who are Muslims who are working with me. I have people of different faith who work with me. Because my dream is that one time I will employ 1,000 people and I will address them. That's my dream, that's my vision. And also I will be giving them break. All of you go for Easter season, just go and come back. All of you go for Eid, go and come back. So it's a day of rest, I'll just specifically say. If we don't put aside the issue of religion, if we just put aside the issue of religion, it's just like a day off or 3 days off. But it comes with the trick. It depends on the type of job you are employed for. There are certain opportunities that may not need all of us to go really home. At least 1 or 2 people will have to remain behind, others go. That's the next time we also rotate. That kind of thing is also allowed, because there are some companies, some organizations, they don't really need to shut down. Even on Sunday, people say, my employer is bad. Why they say employer is bad is they have not understood the day of rest. You know, all of us think the day of rest is Sunday. Yeah? The day I understood that the day of rest is not Sunday, I even thought Sunday I should be working.
So what is the day of rest?
The day of rest is when you put everything aside. You're resting, you're not on phone, you're not on TV, you're not in calls, you're not moving up and down. You're just resting. Okay. Your computers, your everything. That is the day God calls us what? A rest day. Not Sunday where everybody is going to open Bible, to go and do what. This is a day of reflection, a day of you specifically putting all the busy schedules aside. Your day of rest can be Monday. So my Sunday can be Monday, my Sunday can be Saturday, my Sunday can be Friday, my day of rest can be any other day within the week. But because if you understand the day of rest is Sunday, you will have a problem with your employer. Okay. Station needs not to be shut down on Easter Day, but you are a pastor. Your employer says, Pastor Isaac, on Easter Day you're on the duty. Though I say my employer is wrong, I need to understand that. So it is quite true that employers need to put in consideration that these days, festival seasons, allow your employees to go off and enjoy. What will it take if I get my employee dressing the way they want to dress, but not at the workplace? Because here we are saying be in a suit, be very smart. As a journalist, be this, your dressing code is this. As an MP, your dressing code is this. But there is a day when you'll find people in damage. Allow them to damage. They will come back.
Yeah.
So the day of rest, off day, this including Sunday, I would think people should understand the day for rest. People should understand the day, also where they're working. If your workplace indicates that even on Eid day, it is not going to be shut down, allow yourself to work on that day. It will not be disrespect to your employer.
Interesting. One thing is that you need to understand the kind of organization that you're working with and the kind of job that we do, and also the employers have been asked to take into consideration, you know, the needs of the employees, which also involves giving them days off on days like Easter, maybe Eid, and all that they need to put into consideration. But then the question is that you can also help us answer by going to our YouTube or Facebook channel and leaving a comment is, should an organization, or let's say a company like West Nile TV be off? For instance, tomorrow is Eid, so should we let all employees go home and the station, you know, goes down, and simply because we need to celebrate Easter, or should the employees stay here working while other people are out there worshiping, celebrating the resurrection of the Lord? So that is a dilemma that we need to look into, that needs to be answered. It can't be today, but hopefully as time goes by, we'll be able to look into that dilemma. And as we come to the conclusion of this discussion today, you know, a lot of people out there keep asking the question, is the celebration of these religious days being more commercialized than they're being celebrated for what they are? I mean, like you said, a lot of people were in town today. They've gone to buy stuff, you know, they're buying stuff. And business people look at this as a way of boosting their business. You see people on Easter Day, maybe Eid, people in the churches, people are putting up stalls, selling sweets, selling drinks and all that. Has these religious days been commercialized? Also, for instance, when people are preparing for Eid, people are fasting. We see people in the market raising the prices of foodstuff. So are these days being commercialized than being celebrated, or what they should be?
Definitely, yes. People these days, as you just did say earlier on, there is the business fraternity, there's the consumer. Now, I want to get something. They know, first of all, the business people right now know it is a season where, let's take Muslims, are fasting. And in the evening, if it comes to 7 p.m., they will want to break in their fast. And when breaking their fast, they want to have rice, they want to have meat, they want to have this. You know, there's a lot that is coming. I was just doing a market price research 2 days ago. I got to realize that this green pepper that was sold at 110 is now going at 130. You know, that's a full sack. It's an increase already. Yeah. So like people actually, majority have decided to take advantage of this to milk people because they know they want. There's no way out. I am going to go there and I want sugar. They know every evening Muslims are going to break their fast. They want to take some tea. Yeah. Why don't I get a 1,000 or some money on that? That is what the business is doing. And then you get, even in churches right now, I can tell you, you go to churches tomorrow, just go to 2 churches around. You're going to find people sell sweets there, people sell others bring chewing gums for kids. Now the offertory money that is being given to them, they are going to take it to buy these things. Yeah. And so like people are taking advantage, as much as there are people that come with the heart of I am going to worship God, but there are people that also want to make money out of this. So it is obvious that people are taking advantage of this to make money. I mean, they have commercialized it. Yeah. Yes. Okay,
interesting. No doubt that these religious day celebrations have been commercialized. We see people selling, let's say, T-shirts, people doing charts, calendars with all these. People have drawn more towards the money bit of it. They've forgotten even why people celebrate these days, because you're a Christian, you're already, you know, vending these things on that day. You are not going to church. You are more focused on the money bit of it that we cannot deny. Do you think that is right, a right direction that we are taking?
We saw the other day when Jesus was entering on Palm Day, when they were singing Hosanna. There's a clip. He reached in this synagogue, this church. People were selling, people were doing what, and he overturned their businesses, threw away things. said, "You have changed my father's house into a den of
marketplace.
thieves. You're stealing, you're robbing, instead of turning it into a place of worship, place of prayer. We have turned these things upside down. Okay, we have seen the number, opportunities come. During this festival season, people will need to eat. People will need to dress. People will need to drive. People will need to shift to new houses. The list is so long. So people take advantage of that. But at the end of the day, do they sell it at that price? He has already told you. Something which is for 1,000, we find at this climax, they are selling it. There is a store that is going to be, I don't want to mention it because I may become an advert to them. So they're saying they're selling the ticket at 10,000. If you go on Easter very day, they will sell it at 15,000. So what does that mean? They are taking advantage of what? Advantage of the number, and if you are not there, you will miss it. That kind of thing. So what I want to say is that people have commercialized these things. Even a farmer who has dug will want to sell on this day. There are people who prepared. They kept birds. The birds could have been 25 for this day, but they are selling it at 50,000.
Yeah.
On Christmas Day, somebody told me chicken at 70,000, at 80,000 at rush hour, because you want to eat. The rice would have climbed. As Muslims are fasting, you'll find the price of sugarcane has increased. As people are, as the first, even on that very day, Eid day, you'll find that eve towards the day of Eid, you'll find prices have hiked. Christmas, the last week, travel from Arua to Kampala you'll miss. You have to book buses a week or in advance to travel. Things increase dramatically. I had the president, was he the one, or people are just making funds? He says he's going to bring buses that will transport what? Because fare of 20,000 all of a sudden goes to 80. Can't the government come in and help us in between here? Says, no, what has changed? Is it the fuel price? If it has changed, it has gone by maybe 1,000. Why do you again put something exorbitant to you mean like, but I draw it back to our uncle who went on that day and sold the what? You are saying that we thank him because if he didn't take a bold opportunity to go and accept the opportunity, we couldn't see such a day like that. But at the end of the day, we're seeing people taking advantage of us. They want to sell at that high price. They want to, because everybody wants to eat that specific type of food. You have not left money at home. Things have done. We go to the bank and we're withdrawing, we're not saving.
Okay.
This day of Easter, this day of Eid, this day of Christmas, for us we are going to withdraw, we don't deposit. But a wise person will take this day to go and deposit.
Okay.
I've made profits, I'm going to deposit. Yeah.
Interesting. That's also a piece of advice you should take as people. This is the period where people spend extravagantly. You can also save, like he has said. But having taken that, a lot of people have used these festive seasons, the celebrations, to make sales, to make money. So in a way that we have commercialized the celebration of these days, we pay less attention to why these days are there in the first place. Thank you for joining us on this discussion. Like I said, you can still catch us, leave a comment on our YouTube. And now we turn to the guest as we conclude this discussion. What would be your message to our viewer out there who is catching the show? That one thing, maybe an Easter message to your loved one. You can say hi to them right here as we close.
Okay, I think before I just give in the last one, I want to talk about when we look at the incidents of corruption. In this incident, what happens is there's nothing that you will do which is wrong and you don't get rewarded. Now, rewards come in two ways, either positive or negative. When you look at Judas, he went, he got it. Later on, he didn't even use the money. He hanged himself and he died. Now, I think one thing I want to tell the viewers is let's stand on the truth. Now, we are in a world, by the way, corruption was just released a few days ago, report, and now Uganda stands at 47, which is a good improvement.
From
From past. There was a season, sometime. So I think it's a good improvement, but then we need to stand and fight this. By the time you're going to get something from someone in the way of stealing, in the way of, let's say, bribing, let's say corruption generally, you are going to be rewarded. And if it is bad, your reward shall surely come in full measure, pressed together, shaken, you know. So there's nothing that you will do which is bad and you think you're going to get a good, maybe positive impact about it. Let's do what is right as right. Being it Easter, I want to tell you, as Christ resurrects to every human being that is living, irrespective of the religion, as the resurrection is getting here, as tomorrow we celebrate Easter, I would ask everyone else in their different places and capacities in their religion, let's celebrate this day together. How you celebrate it is how you interpret the day, but let's celebrate it in a way of resurrection. You can give to someone, you can, you can embrace someone with love. I love love. So each time I'm talking about, but then from me to you, let's do what is right, because God expects us to do what is right. And by the way, I told you I am a Christian and I'm born again. Christ is coming, and he's coming for the righteous. So when he's coming, he is not going to come for the corrupt. He's not going to come for the sinful. Yes, all of us are fallen short of the glory of God, but it is through the grace and the Spirit that he tries to make us the way he is. So let's strive and get off corruption. That is from Judas's story. Yeah. Let's strive and love, because Christ showed us love by dying on the cross. Let's come together in unity, because he shared bread together. Let's come. To me, it is a lot. So let's do this together and celebrate this day in unity, in peace, in love, in togetherness, and love.
Okay. Thank you very much, for speaking the love language. Love. Go out, show love one another, love your enemies as you love yourself. I think that's so far the most difficult commandment that God has given, but we still need to follow. Turning to Isaac, it has been a very beautiful discussion, and I would love to get your last word to our viewer.
I want to note, because we've been talking about these uncles and these men, there were these aunties who did good work in the life of Jesus Christ. On Friday, we call it Good Friday, they stood with him as they were carrying the cross. They gave him water to drink along the way. They encouraged him, you'll make it. They stood there and watched how he was hanged on, while these other uncles took off and scattered. They were hiding themselves. They said, now they have hanged him, they are coming for us. They disappeared. They went to the upper room and waited there until this day when he is going to come back. But these aunties stood with him, even when the day he was back to life, the one they are going to celebrate tomorrow as Easter. These aunties went there. They were like, who's going to roll for us the stone? Who's going to help us? These uncles have remained behind. These boys have remained behind. I wish there was Peter. I wish there was, so and so. They would roll for us this. But they went. But reaching there, they found the stone was rolled off, and the body that had come to anoint is not there. These women, I'm talking about the women, the work they did. In their life, in preaching the gospel, they have been so much in touch. Jesus went to the well, and he was at the well point there, got a woman, and this woman got saved. She went to the next trading center and collected everyone to go and listen to Jesus Christ. And that day, the Bible says people got saved. Okay. It was a woman. Meanwhile, the men went to look for food because they had had a long day, nobody remained with Jesus. So it is a woman who went and mobilized very good evangelism done by them. So I want to recognize them, that on this day, the mamas outside there who are watching us, the mamas outside there who are listening, and I mean, you're part of this, you're a Christian, you're in your Islamic faith. These mothers are doing great work. I want to acknowledge their work. And the easiest way to reach to the next mile is to use that lady, is to use this woman. The moment they believe, they will remain in that belief and move on faithfully. If you welcome them for Holy Communion, you will really see that these ones are what? They are real, the ones. You will judge them outwardly. Okay. But the men, they want things there and then, and they are moving on. But the women want to take time to understand, this is my son, and this is my daughter. I mean, I want to acknowledge that. We talked about so much things, but we did not acknowledge those things. Babiria says those small things that you are doing in her song, you will win the heart of this lady.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your message, your Easter message.
Yeah, my Easter message for tomorrow is that Jesus Christ is risen. Let him be risen in your life. Let him be the one to be in charge of your life. Let him be the one to control your life. I know tomorrow, for me, I said I have schools. I send people out back home. Those who are in boarding, I told them to go. You will come back on Tuesday. But you'll find tomorrow there is disco everywhere. These learners are going for disco. They are going to, I mean, at the end of the day, you'll find the one has been eloped, the one has been raped. So I am asking you, one has been defiled. I'm asking parents that please celebrate your Easter with your children in your houses, under your one roof. By 6, everybody should be at home. Go together for these shows, maybe for TIG, we are going for what those shows. But after there, you come back home together. There is no show that is going to end at midnight and you're enjoying your sleep back way home. Your child is outside there. I mean, you're risking them. I'm calling upon you that celebrate Easter and make sure your children are not defiled, your children are not raped, your children are not going to be beaten by like a thief around. So let's come back to celebrate and we're together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Isaac, for those last words, and also thank you, Winnie. It has been a very fruitful discussion, and also thank you to our viewer who has stayed with us till the end of this show. I want to put a special shout out to our producer, Bonnie. Thank you very much, and Director Elliot for the good work done, and everyone who has stayed with us. And today's discussion has been very interesting, personal, if you may say. Easter means different things to different people, and one significant thing is that the Lord died and he sacrificed his life for you and for me. So we should not take that lightly, and it should be a point of change in your life. And we've shared a lot regarding that, and I hope tomorrow will be a very lovely day. You can engage in different activities, but most importantly, let's go to church. Let's paint those Easter eggs. We have the bunny, the usual rituals, we can still do them. And thank you, Isaac, for acknowledging the good work done by women. And I hope, men, you have you have listened. Men, we are always absent, and women are always present by Jesus' side. I don't know what that message sends you, but otherwise, from us here, from me to you, from West Nile TV to you, we wish you a very beautiful and lovely Easter celebrations. Let's celebrate with caution. I know it comes with a lot of excitement, but remember, tomorrow is Easter Sunday. We have Easter Monday, but after that we have other days that will still come. Whatever you do, know everything has consequences. So you may do something tomorrow, but it may have an everlasting consequence on you. So please, let's enjoy with caution. Happy Easter, and that is it from us. See you again next Saturday on the same TV station here at West Nile TV. Real Talk. My name is Lillian Ayot, 8 to 10 p.m. See you next Saturday. Have a lovely evening. Ciao.